Well, hey, and welcome to another IC82 video. This is IC82 on tour. We are at... Hey, look, it's my car. Sorry, random shot of my car there. Carry on making my way across the car park. Yep, we're in Caernarfon. This is the Welsh Highland Railway trip, and it starts in Caernarfon. Well, you can start it in Caernarfon. The other place you can start it is Portmaddock. Just look at these yachts. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're a goal. They are a goal. I'm going to own one of those one day. Maybe that one right there. Although not with a name like that. It sounds really, really windy. It wasn't actually that windy, I promise. I swear it was not very windy. It just sounds on the microphone, it's really sensitive. There was a nice cool breeze, but it wasn't too windy. So, shot of Craig there. He came with me on this particular trip. This is Caernarfon. We're just making our way around the harbour, basically, through the really old streets, which is so cute and so quaint. And then there's the castle, so you make your way round the castle, and then you're basically there at the station. So it really is such a beautiful town. It's so well laid out, it's so nice. And let's see how gorgeous the weather was today as well. We got totally sunburned. Well, not totally sunburned, but we definitely caught some really scabby van going past there. But yeah, you can see the mountains of Snowdonia in the background there, and just look how nice it is. And bear in mind, this is about 9:30 in the morning or something. And it's that hot and sunny at that time. So here we are at the station. This is the Caernarfon station, one of the terminus of the Welsh Highland Railway. Look how beautiful that is. There we go. Yeah, I just said it's Caernarfon. There's no need to show him that shot. And so here I have gone up onto the footbridge over the track. And I was just waiting for the train to come, basically. We were quite early, so I thought I'd get some cool shots. I thought it'd be there waiting for us, but no, it seems to have come down from like a storage area. That's some little folly on a hill over the other side of the harbour. And there's the actual proper castle itself. There's Caernarfon Castle. I don't know when it was made. I don't know any facts about it. We're going to focus on the Welsh Highland Railway today. So here it is, chugging in. Look at that. Now it's a Bayer Garrett type design. It's basically two sets of driving bogies, if you like, and then the actual boiler the boiler is held in the middle. There's nothing but a tank of water at one end, and there's nothing but a tank of water and a load of coal at the other. It's not going to win any aerodynamic awards, is it? Let's be honest. But with a top speed of about, well, I don't know, 20-30 miles an hour, I don't think it needs to worry about it. These locomotives weren't built for speed. They were built, well, originally this has come from South Africa, apparently. The locomotive has come all the way over from South Africa. Well, it wasn't built there. I think it was built in Britain, and then it was sent over to South Africa to work on banana plantations and stuff. And now it's no longer needed. It's come back over. I think it's something like that anyway. I'm probably wrong. I don't know. Don't take my word for it. But yeah, it's just hauled into the station. Now look at all those people clambering to get on already. There's just no need. I hate that. I hate that. When you've got people saying, oh no, that's my seat, that's me, I'm going to get a seat, I'm going to get the best seat. No, forget the seats. We're here to look at the train, people. We're here to enjoy the train. So I just stayed where I was and just enjoyed the locomotive. The smell was amazing, by the way. I really, really can't wait for YouTube to add that as a sort of plug-in, because the smell was just out of this world. Really, really nice. So here's the little head shunt thing it's coming into. This is basically just to allow them to flip the points, run around in the loop, and then couple up at the other end. Look at that. That is just magnificent. WHR, the Welsh Highland Railway. Well, see, there we go. South African Railways, or South Africa Railways. So that one, yeah, that's just water tank. That is just a water tank. You know, it was so immaculately kept as well. It really was. This locomotive is so well looked after. I would love a model of one of those. Is it even possible to get hold of these as models? If you know of anywhere that sells them, can you let me know? I'd be happy to check it out. Just look at that. Such a beautiful livery too. So striking and smart. It really was a fantastic locomotive. Absolutely beautiful. See? South Africa. Yep, South African Railways. So basically I wandered all the way to the end of the platform whilst I waited for them to do what they were going to do, and just got some nice holding shots, really. Here's the guy putting water into it. Well, he'd just done that actually, I think he was finishing up now. So they've given it a drink, they've given it a top up, she's ready to go. So I thought, right, get into position. Here she comes. Honestly. Look at that. Now if you're wondering why they are of this design, it's because basically having the two sets of bogies articulated at each end means the locomotive can go around really tight bends. It's as simple as that. And you do get to see some of those really tight bends later on, trust me. So here it comes. Oh no, tell a lie. Here comes the guy.
Good morning. Morning.
I don't know if he was the driver. I think he may have been. Maybe he was the fireman. I'm not too sure. As I say, right now it's about 10 AM or something like that, and already you can feel the heat. It was such a hot day. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, just look at that. How nice is that? He brought it in so slowly. I think he was under pressure, you know, because he was on film. I was the only one filming. There was me and Craig. We were definitely the youngest by far, and then I think the next youngest person was about 50 or 60, and then the rest were between 90 and 184, I think. I said a couple more inches. I think he said 6, didn't he? Look at that. Brilliant. So, nice shot of that lady's chest. Apologies for that. So here we are inside. And just look at you see the seats there? The upholstery that the seating is in? I saw that in every single carriage. I thought that was a really nice touch. I mean, everything is just so well cared for. So well looked after. So here I am leaning out the window. Well, I don't know if I was actually properly leaning out. The camcorder was certainly leaning out. They're only little coaches and little trains, remember, so it's not too hard. And here we are pulling out. I missed the whistle just before we pulled out, which is something I do quite often. But we get plenty of whistles later on, so don't worry about that. Excuse me. And you can even see a little bike on the wooden panels there. That's basically because it's a bike route as well, you see. Oh, you can hear it now, can't you? Listen to that power. Because it's all uphill, you see, right the way to, I think it's Snowdon Ranger. It's more or less uphill. That's about halfway, that's the summit anyway, and then from there onwards to Portmadoc it's more or less downhill all the way. So basically she's going to be climbing for miles, and this is something else. It's a really long railway. I mean, seriously long. I'm just trying to think how many miles it is. I can't think off the top of my head. But basically the trip is 2 hours, because it goes all the way from Caernarfon on one coast to Portmadoc on the other coast. You know, in the bay there, the Caernarfon Bay I think it's called. So here's a nice shot of the coach inside. that family, that group of people over to the left, they were no trouble. They looked like they could have been a bit rowdy, but no, they were alright. I told you there's some whistles. There's plenty more to come. The scenery at this point is really quite, what's the word? Uninspiring at the moment. It's nothing special, but that changes. That changes quite quickly. Hey, up, we're motoring now. Look at this. I've got no idea what speed he was doing at this point. I should have activated that little GPS tracker thing on my phone and found out exactly how fast he was going. Oh, nice one. Well, yeah, think of it now. That's no flaming good. And I used to do this quite a bit as well, getting some cool shots of the outside whilst getting a shot of the inside as well. I thought that was quite good. I think I'd get quite a lot of that later on. Yeah, it was the tunnels actually that did that. You go through quite a lot of tunnels later on, and they force you to just sort of bring the camcorder and your head in a little bit. For obvious reasons. Now already the scenery is starting to change. You can see the sea. Look at that. All that water. So basically that over there, that was Anglesey. Totally left Caernarfon now. We're in Dinas. Is it Dinas? Dinas? It's Welsh. I've got no idea how you pronounce it. It's probably Bobville, but spelled Dinas. I genuinely haven't got a clue. So here we go. This was a beautiful station, as all of them were. Just so well kept. And look at that! Look at that insect climbing onto the lens, trying to take all the attention and be the star of the show. So after shutting the camera down and flicking that little thing off, I got some shots of various service wagons in the yard. I think they must have used all of that stuff in its construction. The train wasn't that busy, by the way. There weren't very many people on it at this point. But it got busier because it calls at quite a lot of stations and there's people hopping on and off all over, which is really quite good. A full return trip from Caernarfon to Portmadoc cost £35 per person, so that is quite expensive. As far as heritage railways go, that is quite expensive, but when you bear in mind that you're on it for 2 hours, it's travelling something like 25 to 35 miles, and it's basically taking you from one coast to another. That is pretty impressive, I think. So £35 well spent, if you ask me. I think there was a yard just up ahead. So yeah, here we go. I think this is part of the works. I think this is related to the railway. I'm not too sure. It's pretty cool. Lots of machinery everywhere. Great day out for the kids. Again, motoring along now. Really climbing. It is called the Welsh Highland Railway after all. So there's mountains and hills all over the place. Trying to get a good shot of the locomotive there. That coach there, that was all open. So on a day like today, that was packed. Absolutely rammed. Oh, just look at that. That is stunning, is it not? Look at that. We're a good 20 to 30 minutes into the journey at this point, and the scenery has totally changed. There's just mountains and forests and lakes everywhere. It's like something out of the Swiss Alps, on a smaller scale obviously, but it's still definitely quite dramatic compared to the plains of Cheshire that I'm used to. Oh, here we go. We're trying to be all arty-farty. Again, really motoring. I don't know if we were going uphill or flat or downhill at this point, but we're still overall climbing. Look at the locomotive. It was just working so hard, and it worked flawlessly. I wasn't aware of a single issue or a single problem all day. And what's quite cool is when you get to Bedgellet, which I think is about halfway, you more or less see the other locomotive either pull right in or it's already sat there waiting. And then you carry on and it goes back up to Caernarfon. So basically as one locomotive leaves Caernarfon, the other locomotive leaves Portmadoc and the two meet in the middle. And that goes on pretty much every weekend, I think. I don't know if it runs in the week. I don't know if it does. I'll be very surprised if it... I suppose it might do in half term and summer holidays and stuff when kids are off and families are everywhere. But it certainly runs most weekends, you know, in season. Excuse me. Just again, look at this scenery. You get a lot of that scenery. So if you go on this railway, be prepared to take your camera. Make sure you've got a full card ready to fill up. We just passed through a station there. It was one of the request stops. There are a handful of stations you have to request if you want to stop at them. I always find that curious though. How can you request to get back on again? Start throwing bricks at the train? I don't know. Beautiful, eh? Now, prepare for something quite spectacular. Can you see it? It's just there in the background. Wait for the trees and shrubs to clear. And just look up there. There it is. Oh yes. That's Snowdon, the highest mountain in England and Wales. Only Ben Nevis in Scotland beats it. And that's hundreds of miles away. So I've gone over back to the other side of the train because I just had to get a shot of this. They were just rolling past a pasture full of cows, and then there was all these forested areas, and there was a massive lake, a massive mountain. It genuinely felt like I was in The Sound of Music or something. Just look at that. Incredible. No wonder they built a railway through this. Do you know, the whole thing was met with loads of opposition. It really was. I'm glad that opposition was quashed because it's just stunning. Look. Seriously, there were whole protests. There were hordes of people not wanting to build this railway. Why? I don't get it. It's bringing all these tourists into the area with all their money, pumping their money into local businesses, supporting the area, helping to make everybody richer. The impact to the environment is minimal. How people could protest such a beautiful line that does so many wonderful things to the area, I have no idea. No idea. But look, there's Snowdon again. I've climbed that 3 times. Now watch as I zoom right in. Look at that. You can even see people climbing. Can you see them? Look at all those tiny little black dots on literally the horizon. Look at that. And then I zoom out, and I zoom out, and I zoom out. Is the zoom on this camcorder good or what? Yeah, no, they're still being behaved. It's okay. I kept my eye on them. They look like they could have been quite rowdy and troublesome at times, but no, they weren't too bad. Hey, drinks time! Just obsessed with Snowdon, aren't I? I've been up it 4 times. I went up first on the train, the Llanberis, it leaves Llanberis, but it's called the Snowdon Mountain Railway. That was when I was really little. And then I walked up the Llanberis path, then I walked up, I think, what's known as the Miners path, and then years later I walked up the Redu path. That was the hardest path. Those mountains over there, they're not Snowdon. This is back on the other side of the train. That's the lake we just passed. See how windy the track is getting now. Look at this. See, you've got the back end of the train turning to the right, and you've got the front end turning to the left. That is how windy the track is getting. Well, you can hear it, can't you? You can hear the flange squeal. And we're still climbing. It's just spectacular, people. You've got to go. I'm not joking. Go. As soon as you can. And if you get a nice day like today, well, that's just a bonus, isn't it? But don't think that you can only go when it's this nice, because it's such a dramatic railway. It's such dramatic scenery that it's going to be spectacular in any weather, really. The coaches were dead nice. The staff were dead friendly. The scenery is just stunning. Look at that. It's like one gigantic playground. You feel like you just want to run through the grass and run up the mountains and jump off them into a lake and swim and then run again. It's or just stay on the train, it's fine, either. It's up to you. Okay, so I think this might be Bedgellet actually. It looks familiar. I think this is Bedgellet. So this is more or less halfway. And again, I just missed the whistle. This is either Bedgellet or Snowdon Ranger, but basically it's more or less the halfway point. And so pretty much from here on in, it's downhill. The locomotive has worked really, really hard all this time, all this way, and now it can take a breather. But yeah, there was people heading up and down the coaches, selling the guides, not the group of people that do lots of outdoor activities. That would be illegal. They sell the booklets to the railway, so you can read up all about it and stuff, which I do recommend. Really nicely done. But there's a drinks trolley as well that goes through. You can have tea, coffee, lemonades, orange juices, and you can buy cakes and shortbread and stuff like that. And then they come round right at the very end and collect all the litter as well. Whoa, look at this. Ah, hold everything in. Whoa. Woo. That was close. Had I have lost my head at that point, it really would have put a downer on the day. Really would have ruined it somewhat. Just look at it. It's just beautiful, isn't it? It's magnificent. This more or less concludes part 1. When I did my last Ice Age 2 tour video, I had tons of people saying, well, it was too long, you should have split it into 2 parts. So, I am going to split this into 2 parts. Part 2 will be up in a few days' time, after several other random videos. So, please do join me for part 2 as well, because it's just as fantastic as part 1. Thank you for watching.